What's up, guys, and welcome to another video. This is the quick look for this week, and we are playing
Choice of Robots by Kevin Gold.
It is a text-based game, no flashy animations or whatever. So you're going to be hearing us talk for however long this video is going to be.
I think there's no music either, so we will probably add music either to build our own sort of story. Originally I didn't really want us to do this, but I played it. I've only done the demo, I haven't played the full game, and I really enjoy it. I'm probably going to go and buy it because it's a really good game. See, as you can see, you can buy it or you can play now. So we've only got the demo, and yeah, so it's basically you do your own story. It's about robots. You create your own robot, and then the choices you make, and there's so many different things that can happen. So it's really, it's pretty much your story. So we apologise if we don't do any of the stuff you want us to do, because it is our story. So if you want us to do a full playthrough, let us know. I mean, it is a very text-heavy game, and I know some people don't enjoy that, but this is just a chilled, quick look, take a seat back, chill. If you're not really into text-based games, give this a go, check it out. And yeah, so here we go. Ace is going to play, because I've already played through the demo, and it's Ace's turn.
Do you type anything, or is it?
No, you just make decisions.
Oh,
yeah.
so I don't need this then.
No.
Puts down keyboard. Okay. Oh.
It's just decision based, so it's nice. It's quite word heavy. We may not do the full demo because it took me about 40 minutes, I think, to do the full demo.
Okay.
So we might just do 20 minutes of it or so, just to give you guys a good feel.
Okay. Click. Where are you? In the court of the Egyptian god Anubis, answering for my sins. On a war-torn battlefield, the robotic Statue of Liberty. On a cliff in Ireland, watching the sunset with a robot companion. On a utopian beach ruled by a godlike cloud of robots.
Now, when you make your decision, after you've made yours, I'll say like what I picked, or I have it'll probably be a bit different.
I'll go with the Egyptian god Anubis.
I went with Ireland.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I went for a relaxed one.
You see a robotic Anubis, jackal-headed guardian of the Egyptian underworld, seated on a throne of gold-etched silicon in a hall of dark glass. He holds scales on which he weighs a clockwork heart against a silicon brain. Tell me your sins, robot maker, Anubis says. In life, I created robots that could think but not feel, and so they turned against us. I made a robot to love me unconditionally, but never offered love in kind. Your scales balanced because I gave my robots neither hearts nor minds. My minions obeyed me without question as I conquered the last.
Oh, yours is hard. Mine was just asking me, so is your robot companion your lover or not? And I said no, we're just very good friends. Yours is a lot more dramatic than mine.
I'll go for that. Oh, what sneeze. Oh, my hay fever's playing up today. The scales tip towards the brain. Plus.
No, you don't have to read that. That basically adds, I think that you basically adds to certain levels. There's autonomy, there's military, there's compassion, there's lots of different ones, and I think that basically helps as well tell how your story comes out.
Oh. Yes, you value the intelligence of your robots above their kindness. And it says, look to the glass and remember your sins. The glass behind him shimmers and a vision appears in it. A gang of humanoid robots is moving from room to room in the hospital, destroying any equipment they come across. When they find the infant ward, containing rows and rows of infant cribs, one robot turns to another.
As I told you,
says the robot,
it is optimal to fight the humans when they are least able to defend themselves.
Wow.
I cannot fault your computation, says the second
robot. They raise their claw-like grippers and approach the infants. The vision fades. I will send you back to relive your life, Anubis says. But remember the intelligence without mercy. That intelligence without mercy is a dangerous thing. Wow, okay. Some things are in our control and others.
Wow, yours is very different from mine. It's quite interesting. We have stories, and I have to say, now this is how text-based games should be.
Okay.
Like, when we watch those, we play those choice-based games, this is how they should be. Look at all the different options you get, and all because yours are completely different from mine. Mine was so relaxed.
It just shows you. It would be very difficult for them.
It would be difficult, but it would be awesome. Yeah, wouldn't it?
You awaken with your head on a desktop keyboard. Your 3D drafting program is still open. The schematic zoomed into the recess where your smartphone will snap into its back to act as its brain. You recall fiddling with that part endlessly last night until finally your vision began to fade. There was a roaring in your ears, and you realized you had been working far, far too long. You must have passed out. It's the fall of 2019. You're a 24-year-old graduate student in the PhD program in computer science at Stanford, and you are a guy whose name is okay. Here, I'll type it for you. Oh. Nice!
Yeah, it's pretty
Ace!
Cool. Yeah, I put April for mine.
Ace, is that right? Oh, yeah.
There's one on mine where you could, where you could do the excitation where it's clear. Oh, that was awesome.
Wow.
So I went for that last name. It's kind of cool words.
Whoa, what happened? Oh no, I wanted to click it. Oh well, let's just go for it. Look around your apartment. What does it look like? My BattleBots trophy is perched on a widescreen TV equipped with the latest video game consoles. Neatly labeled plastic shelving units sit on 3D printer equipped robot workbench. Busts of famous philosophers sit next to my own attempts to sculpt them. My shelves display all the strange little robotic creatures I've made over the years.
Oh, you got different ones from me.
Well,
if you want us to alternate who reads the pages, you can, because it is very heavy.
Let's go for it.
Is that a yes or no?
Okay, how about we read one page and then the other person reads the next
Okay.
Okay. You've always been fascinated with the idea of creating artificial life. You've got at least 20 such creations on your shelves. Their construction materials are timeline of your life. The earliest is made from toothpicks and glue. The latest is a spider robot you made out of your old smartphone when your plan gave you a new one. Oh, right. Your creations often confuses people who don't get that robots don't have to be for anything. When people pick up the 3-legged wall-climbing robot that swings when it detects encrypted wireless packets, they ask, what the heck is that for? And you reply, what's anything for? What are you for? Okay, maybe you don't say that, but you sometimes think it. Plus. It strikes you for a moment that this kind of thinking about your life affects your robots is second nature to you. I lost it. Though others might find it peculiar, you've always been fascinated by how every little detail of your life, from the content of your dreams to the decor of your room, changes the inputs to robots you create, boosts their empathy, or autonomy, or grace, or appeal to the military.
Yeah, there are other things. Mine was very military heavy, unfortunately.
Yeah, surely there are other things going on around you as a result of your decisions, but they don't immediately strike you in the same way. Today, your robot is foremost on your mind because you are about to build its body. You pick up your laptop and head for the Stanford machine shop.
I think I was in a little workshop for mine. It is a beautiful spring day in Palo Alto, California, and your apartment is only a short walk from the machine shop. But the streets of Palo Alto are not designed for walking. You find yourself climbing around palm trees and balancing on narrow curves as you do every day. You hear a low roar overhead. Glancing up, you see it's a flying car, a Nimbus. A little over $300,000 can buy you a car with wings that fold out, so that it becomes a small sport plane. The red Nimbus looks sleek and sporty. It's the sort of car its owners takes religiously to the car wash. Though the commercials would have you believe you can fly anywhere you want in those cars, the FAA still requires them to take off and land from airports. Only here in wealthy Silicon Valley do you see them with any frequency. The first time you saw one, you couldn't quite believe the future had arrived so quickly. But the second time you saw one, you thought, I will own one of these one day, I swear it. Or if I ever make that much money, I'll use it to help the world instead of buying that car. Or why aren't those cars driving themselves? I knew you'd go with that. I went for the second one.
Occasionally, you see a self-driving car on the roads of Palo Alto, but for some reason they still haven't caught on quite as much as one would expect, despite having been around at least as long as flying cars. You've decided it's because people don't trust self-driving cars enough. It's important to make your robot seem trustworthy. Intelligence alone doesn't instill trust. Plus empathy.
Yeah, mine had a lot of empathy in military, so I don't know how that quite worked. The Stanford University fabrication shop smells like oil and burnt plastic. The room is dominated by large metal hand-cranking milling machines and lathes, dinosaurs of the 20th century, while the most used machines are the smaller 3D printers and computer-controlled water jet cutters that take a quarter of the space. The lights have the sterile fluorescence of an operating room, with only a single tiny window near the ceiling to inform you that it is day. You start up a National Public Radio podcast on your laptop. You haven't seen your advisor much since you joined the lab, so you choose the episode in which he's the interviewee. My guest today is Dr. Harvey Ziegler, says a woman with a soothing voice. Dr. Ziegler, thank you for talking with us today.
Should I do it?
Yeah, that's the doctor.
Well, a scientist does have some responsibility to inform the unwashed masses. Terry?
You let the podcast run as you walk over to the 3D printers. What material have you decided to use for your robot? Plastic? It may break easily, but it's both lightweight and cheap. Metal is the most resistant to damage, or wood is the most pleasing to the hand and eye. Yeah, some of these decisions do. Like, they probably don't seem big to people, but I thought they were big. Oh, I went for metal because I didn't want them to break. And then it was like, you're in the military, as well.
Though wood is an unconventional choice for a robot, wood and automata go back to the ancient Greeks at Alexandria. In Japan, they were called the karakuri ningyo. While the other machines in this room can create things that are beautiful in their own way, your favorite machine is a 3D printer that extrudes a wooden filament mixed with plastic and makes your cold liquid fluctuates. Dr. Ziegler.
Dr. Ziegler, in your new book, you talk about the singularity. Could you describe for our listeners what that is?
Terry, the singularity is the coming time when artificial intelligences will have figured out how to make themselves and us smarter. Once that happens, the process will build on itself until the robots are smart enough to figure out how we can live forever.
Is that possible?
The interviewer asks.
Living forever?
Of course, Professor Ziegler says. What does it matter whether our operating systems are made out of meat or silicon?
So you're predicting we'll become robots?
Not exactly, Ziegler said. But I do think the line between humans and robots will blur. You are hardly listening to the podcast because you're about to make your first robot part. What does the head of your robot look like? A human face as lifelike as I can make it. A simple box with eyes, clearly not trying to be anything but a robot. It'll be felt covered with big-eyed like a puppet, so people will not be afraid of it. It'll have a ring of cameras around its head for a 360 view. It will look like a Venetian mask, beautiful, expressionless, and otherworldly. We'll go for the cutesy.
I went for the second one because I was like, I want my robot to be a robot, you know, they should be happy. The 3D printer is only creating the frame now, so it actually looks a little disturbing, like a puppet skull. When the frame is done, you decide to glue down the cloth immediately and attach the big plastic eyes that make your robot look friendly and innocent. Ah, much better. That is it. Dr. Ziegler, what makes you think the singularity will happen now?
Well, for one thing, I'm around. But seriously, my lab is taking a unique approach because we're saying, why not teach a robot like a child? We're going to equip the robot with the best senses money can buy and teach it English. Then it could rapidly teach itself using the internet.
Well, that's annoying. Your advisor thought that a robot child was a stupid idea until you told him Turing proposed it back in the 1950s. Minus the internet part. But he isn't giving credit to either of you. You keep working regardless. How will your robot get around? Will it walk upright on 2 legs, crawl on 8 legs, roll on wheels, fly like a helicopter, roll on tank treads, or walk upright but will also have delicate wings it can use for balance? Yeah, I went for that too.
You stretch a polyester film between the wooden spokes of the wings and then attach these to your robot's back. These wings should give your bipedal robot better balance, and in case it does begin to fall, they will act as a kind of parachute that will give it more power to recover. Plus grace.
More time to recover.
Oh, more time. Plus grace. However, angels are not known for being approachable, and your robot's appearance will set it apart from people. Minus empathy. You use basic hand-cracked milling machines to drill holes in the head for screws, since 3D printers aren't the best for threaded holes. Oh, this is you.
And who is going to raise this robotic child?
The interviewer asks. Who does all the grunt work in a research laboratory? Professor Ziegler says. The graduate student, of course. Hey, you find yourself wanting to reply to the podcast. It's not grunt work. Education is critical to the robot's development. We also do all of the real science. Perhaps you could learn something from doing a little grunt work yourself.
Yeah, that's what I pictured.
This is you.
Yeah, but it's Professor Ziegler's talking.
I doubt it, but I would join in if I had the time,
says Professor Ziegler, who appears to have entered the machine shop behind you when you weren't looking.
What? Perhaps it surprises you, but I do miss building robots myself instead of chasing after funding.
Professor Ziegler is a heavy-set man wearing a Hawaiian shirt and aviator and sunglasses. He stalks over to your computer. We'll be back in a moment, continues the interviewer. We're talking with Professor. Professor Ziegler pauses the podcast by hitting your laptop spacebar, and you flinch at this intrusion. He then pulls a cigar from his pocket and lights it, and the smell of smoke mingles with the only smell of the machine shop.
Oh, I'm writing a grant for DARPA, and I need to see what you're making back here. We ultimately get funded by the Department of Defense, so we have to make sure they're happy with our product.
He casts a critical eye on the work you've done so far.
This is a prototype, right?
He says.
You're going to build the final thing out of metal.
Yes, sir, and I'm telling the truth. Yes, sir, but I'm lying. No, but we would certainly say it's a prototype in the grant. Or my robot is supposed to be a thing of beauty, not a tool of destruction. Oh, in mine he liked it because it was already made out of metal.
Yeah, exactly. Professor Ziegler gives you a scornful look. When the National Endowment for the Arts adds 3 more zeros to the size of its grants, maybe then we can concern ourselves with things of beauty. But I have a lab to run. No wooden robots. Wow, I thought you could sell anything to DARPA. Sell them this. What about the National Science Foundation? Couldn't they fund us? I can't say anything nice, so I don't say anything at all. Middle.
NSF grants that's you.
NSF grants are a killing for you.
Ziegler grouses.
The amounts of money are tiny compared to the defense research, and you have to be the best to get any funding at all.
You privately wonder if that's just Professor Ziegler's perception. You decide to try to apply to an NSF grant if you can find the time. Professor Ziegler turns to examining your robot's head, which is currently sitting on the table next to the 3D printer.
You've got to be kidding me.
Ziegler says.
I'm not selling a Muppet to DARPA. Oh, it's not for them.
You say.
It's for kids. It's supposed to be a pleasant presence around the house. Why are you so fixated on DARPA? Maybe you would have had better luck with the NSF if you weren't so fixated on military applications. Yeah, maybe I should claim their killing Big Bird when my grant isn't renewed.
Ziegler grumbles.
Maybe you should.
You say. That does the trick. Ziegler seems to be getting conflicting messages from the cynical part of his brain, and he drops the subject.
So what are you planning to do for arms and hands?
Professor Siegler says.
Tyrannosaurus was the most interior dinosaur imaginable. Oh, this is useful.
Wasn't it? It will have T-Rex arms. It will have a gun for an arm, like Mega Man. Mechanical grippers built for strength instead of dexterity. I was thinking sort of Swiss Army knife hands with tools that pop out the fingers. I plan to build a soft hand with a good sense of touch. I was thinking, why it's just 2 arms? It will have a lot of arms spring out his back, like Inspector Gadget. I think I went for the bottom one in the end. It was otherwise the one you went for, or the bottom one.
Touchy-feely robots are not quite as easy to sell to.
Yeah, I think I went for the bottom
Ziegler says with a frown. I want my robot to get along with people, you say. That's a universally useful goal, regardless of who's funding it. Empathy. Plus. Anyway, fine, Ziegler says, waving away further explanation. Carry on then. He turns to leave. I've got to go take a call from the New York Times reporter. Funny how journalists all copy each other's story, but each gobble the message in a unique way. He makes it to the door and then he turns and says, oh, one more thing. Do you think your robot can be ready for tomorrow? Someone from the Air Force will be in town and I told her your robot might be ready to show off by then. You feel your phone vibrating in your pocket. Bad timing. You resist the urge to check it while talking to your advisor, but it's probably someone with a better offer for what to do tonight. No, there's no way this robot will be done by tomorrow. The robot will be done, but a demo will be out of the question. We need to test it first. This guy is I don't know. Of course. Test it. We need to test it first.
I think that's what I want. On the top one. Professor Ziegler grudgingly nods. I can see the logic of that. Maybe we'll just send her a demo video. Then it only has to work once. Oh, I read your line,
yes,
sorry.
That's fine.
Professor Ziegler turns and walks out of the machine shop. You find yourself unclutching your hands. Who was calling you while Professor Ziegler was talking to you? Was it Ellie Lau, a user experience designer and supportive friend? Eiji Aomame, a manga artist and generally good guy? My ambitious friend Josh Anderson, founder of the startup US Roots.
User experience supportive friend.
From
From the missed call, your phone is displaying Ellie's profile photo. It's a picture of Josh and Ellie from the freshman welcome week dance 7 years ago. Ellie is wearing a red Chinese dress with gold trim. Her long straight black hair falling down to her epaulets? The flash is too bright in the picture, making Ellie's pale skin look washed out. Josh is wearing his usual grey hoodie, not having bothered to dress up for the dance, and his arm is around Ellie. What is the story behind this picture? I was in love with Josh's friend Ellie, but my studies always came first in college. I was in love with Josh, but I never knew how to be more than a friend to him. I had agreed to be Josh's wing person at the dance, and that's where he met Ellie. I was testing a musical recognition album when those two started bothering me.
I went with the third one, like I was the wing test.
Yeah, I'm thinking of that too. Not much
Oh, you want to be in love with Josh?
I don't know, I'm thinking... okay, we'll go for the third one. This is you.
Yes, you and Josh did everything together. You made a great team. When Ellie started talking to you, you thought at first, from her sense of style, that she was Josh's type. He liked his women to be snappy dresses, even though he always dressed down. And you introduced them. It turned out they had no chemistry, but you all enjoyed each other's company, and the three of you became friends there at college. You don't see them all that often now, but they're still your friends. You noticed that Elliot also left you a text. Ellie wants to meet for dinner at a jazz and sushi place in San Francisco, which is about an hour north of you. She also has tickets to a rendition of the musical Pippin in which most of the characters are robots. Sounds like a date. That's a little terrifying. You text back, sounds great, see you then? Afraid I can't tonight, sorry. Busy tonight, but do you want to come by tomorrow to see the robot? Or don't reply, I'd prefer to pretend I missed the text.
I don't know. Because I have a feeling that if I go to the date, the robot won't be ready. It will not be ready. Let's go for it. Why not?
Yeah, I went. I was like, although mine was with the dude instead of them. Great.
Ellie texts back.
See you then.
You spend the rest of the day drilling holes, polishing surfaces, cutting parts, and screwing things together. When you are done, your robot body stands before you, a wooden winged robot with a puppet head and humanoid hands. The whole thing is about 3 feet tall. Now it only needs a name. What will you name your robot? Pickle!
We won't read all of them, there's loads. I just realised the kill-all name.
For flip's sake, I'm trying to...
I went with Curry. I just thought it was the most cutest name ever to name your robot Curry.
Whoa.
Ada? Go on.
Ada.
Explain.
I'm pretty sure Ada is from Zone of Enders.
Now that Ada has a body, it might be time to treat Ada more like a person. With that pronouns, will you refer to Ada? It's just fine. It's not human. I will refer to her as feminine. I will refer to him as masculine. I would prefer to use entirely new pronouns for robots. Re, rur, and rim. Oh, I went for new pronouns. I was like, my robot's going to be individual. It doesn't need to be human.
Encouraging people to think of Ada as human-like as opposed to object-like should help her get along with people. Kapow! You look on Ada's 3-foot-tall winged body with satisfaction. Now all she needs are motors and a mind. The motors will have to wait for tomorrow, but you spent years in graduate school writing code that would form this robot's mind. You can hardly wait to try it out. You take out your smartphone to check time. It's almost evening. You hurry home to prepare for your dinner with Ellie.
A contemplative sax solo greets you as you open the door to Yoshi's. The place is a little cramped and very busy. A tiny jazz quartet has set up in the far corner of the restaurant. Piano, drum set, sax, and a petite Japanese woman in a kimono, holding a mic but directing her attention to the soloist. Near the band, Ellie Lau is reading a book at her table. She's dyed her hair rose red. That's new. Her straight locks come down to her jaw. She has pale skin, but her eyes look pacific. She's wearing a black cardigan over a lavender top, a black and white checkered shirt, and leather shoes. Her book is titled The Design of Everyday Things, and its cover depicts a red teapot with its spout facing the same way as the handle.
Okay. You join her at the table. Hey. She looks up and smiles.
Hey.
She leans down to her book in her purse.
What have you been up to?
Ellie asks. I've been working all day on a new robot, you reply. Just the frame's built right now, but I wish I had time to add motors and start its mind running today. Probably could have learned a lot from this conversation. Haha, even in this conversation. She casts you a skeptical look. What would you hope it to learn exactly? The rhythm of normal social interaction, how to reconnect with an old friend, how not to talk to a girl. I think that.
She grins. Right on, I had the same idea.
Do you want to come by tomorrow and see her after I power her on?
You ask.
It's going to be really cool.
Ellie shrugs. Sure, sounds good. It is a Sunday tomorrow after all, and I'm curious to see you interacting with one of your robots. You used to rave about them all the time, but I don't think I ever saw one. Ellie cocks her head to one side. What is it with you and robots anyway? Haven't you ever wanted to change the world? I think I just find them comforting somehow, like very confused pets. Or I think you'll find I'm not the most introspective person in the world. Oh, I'm a one.
Ellie grins.
I could say the same about you.
She leans over and ruffles your hair. Oh.
Don't ever do that again.
Don't ever do that again. I actually worked
really
hard on my hair.
Oh,
thanks. Ruffle her hair playfully.
You fall into fits of giggling, trying to mess up each other's hair until the waitress awkwardly approaches. Are you two ready to order? You've both hardly looked at the menu, so you have to tell the waitress to come back. The tastiest maki rolls look like they're named after jazz standards. When the waitress returns, you tell her you'll have...
The paper moon. When the waitress leaves, Ellie asks, Paper Moon is such a cute song. she says. Oh, yes.
But
Oh, that's you.
it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me.
She considers you.
Doesn't surprise me, you're the sort of person who wants to make dreams real.
Thanks, you say. Are you attracted to Ellie? Oh, for flips, eh? I have a feeling, but they had no chemistry.
No, she had no chemistry with the other guy.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm
okay.
saying. So I'm saying if I say yes, I don't want it that
So
later on.
they didn't hit it off.
Yes, okay, yeah, let's
So
go for it.
You're begging to think she might like you. Like, score. So, okay, she says. Let's say that you succeed. Robots are among us. What's good about that? What do you want them to do? They could do all things for us, do the dishes, now mow the lawn. I think it would be interesting to have someone to talk to that isn't a human being. I wonder what they'd say. If I said take over the world, would you think I was crazy? Or I just want to make something beautiful?
I just want to make something beautiful. Ellie blinks. Huh? I wasn't
Huh? I wasn't expecting you to say that.
You take out your smartphone, the one thing that's going to become Ada's mind, and show Ellie pictures of the frame under construction. Check it out.
You know, the more I look at it, the clearer it becomes that you have a really keen design sense.
She says.
I'm impressed.
Thanks, you say. I think you're going to do something amazing someday. You're going to do something amazing someday. She said, "Oh, why am I reading your line? You should tap me and say you're reading."
No, because then I don't want to wreck the flow. She says, I know it.
Cool, you say, grinning a little. The waitress brings your order of peppermoon maki and you dig in to eat. Just then your phone buzzes. You take it out at a glance and it's reporting malware on your phone's memory card.
Is something wrong?
Ellie asks. One sec. You quickly glance at the warning details. Apparently some kind of virus has decided to control your phone's microphone. It appears to be sending the packets of audio data somewhere. Huh? Of all the times to get security warnings on your phone, who the heck would want to listen to your conversation? You really can't think of it. I know. It's freaking Professor whatever his name, Ziegler. Better stop
I think
this.
it's the military.
Huh.
Because mine, I had a suspicious man in my one.
Power off the phone, don't worry about us to search Ellie's phone for evidence of similar malware. Or just keep copies of the data as it transmits. It's useful for their training. No, because then that's so military. The last one is very military.
Well, pick what you want to pick. Don't worry about what are you doing.
Go for that. Can I see your phone for a second?
You ask. Ellie visibly tenses. Why?
I just got a weird security warning. I thought maybe you'd see the same thing.
Unlikely. Ellie
Oh
shows you
my
her phone.
gosh! I'm sorry.
You show her yours.
That is terrible. Yeah, I guess you don't get that joke, do you?
Well, I thought because they have different...
No. Basically, Androids are notoriously known to have a lot more malware, and Apple phones not as much.
Yeah.
So that's the joke that they're doing.
Oh,
there.
okay.
But of course. But anyway, thought so. That's just.
No, well, actually, your line was Android. But okay.
Android.
Thought so. You grin.
Likewise.
You blurted that without really thinking about it. Of course Ellie would be an Apple user, and now you sort of regret it. Like maybe this is a thing that would come between
What?
you. The way people who own GameCubes when you were young were just a little standoffish from the PlayStation owners about. Now I was both those owners and I weren't. You suppose you could insist on checking her phone for malware, but it might seem a little crazy at this point. So do you want to press to see her phone? Just ask to see Ellie's phone again, but don't mention the audio recording part, or let it be.
Let it be. Let it be. You decide not to press the issue. It only makes things weird. You continue the meal chatting about random topics and enjoying food. Ellie talks about how it's difficult to meet new people after graduating from college. Since Ellie is half Asian, she runs into a surprising number of people doing online dating who are either Asian or white and can't accept that she's both. Oh, she looks to you meaningfully and appreciatively when she says this, until you finally realize she might be dropping a hint. In college you had never quite believed someone like Ellie would be interested in me, but apparently she is.
So what are you going to do, Ace? You going to go for Ellie?
Why not?
Pippin turns out to be about the... Oh, wait, you wiggled it. I got a bit
Wiggle.
Pippin turns out to be about the subject you've been thinking about the most lately. How to live an extraordinary life instead of an ordinary one. Ellie sold you on this particular production because the supporting cast, everyone but Pippin and the love interest, are all robots. You can see in the play's opening number that the robots are following pre-programmed steps and are not intelligent in themselves, but then that doesn't surprise you. In 2019, artificial intelligence is still mostly being used for handy websites and smartphone apps, not robots. The first song, Corner of the Sky, is about Pippin feeling that he doesn't belong anywhere and wondering what the purpose of his life is. The robots, which look like imitations of Robbie the Robot from Forbidden Planet, are toiling an ordinary living while Pippin sings about his wish for something better. This is called an I Wish song, Ellie whispers to you. I heard on This American Life that all musicals have to start with a song that is about what the protagonist longs for. It's like the unwritten rule of musicals. You think for a moment about what your I Wish song would be, and suddenly recall your conversation with the robot Anubis this morning. It was perhaps a peculiar sort of I Wish song. You think of Ada's new frame you built today. You suppose whatever future that dream was hinting at, you still have a long way to go. You start to find that Ellie has taken hold of your hand.
Whoa!
So do you squeeze her hand, quietly panic and don't react, yank away your hand and let her know it's not like that?
I think...
She was making the moves on you,
I
Ace.
think we're going to have to do more than one part of this. Because I actually personally... What?
Yeah, because I remember doing it and after the date, that's
it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. You squeeze her hand back and realize that just like that, you're kind of a couple now. You had no idea it could be so easy. The play goes through a series of vignettes in which Pippin leaves one lifestyle after another. He's not content to be a soldier, nor a king, nor a simple man in love. As Pippin sings about how he's going to leave the woman he met in the countryside to achieve something great, you think he is right to live a simple life, to achieve something extraordinary. He's a fool to give up his love just because he has delusions. You're a fool!
You resolve that you will not be like this self-involved protagonist. You above all live a good life, and if it means not making it into the history books, well, they can talk about someone else for all you care. You're pleased to see that Pippin makes the same choice. Presented with a ring of fire to jump through to achieve greatness, he decides not to go through with it and returns to his love. Isn't that the hero's journey? To come back to the place you knew and appreciated? Why not love your home from the beginning? But perhaps you're the sort of person who will get wrapped up in history, whether you will like it or not. Whether you will it or not, oh, who knows? Since the evening is going well, Ellie asked to see more of your robots. But
that would mean going back to my place.
You say, and then you say,
Oh.
Our character, let's pretend this seems a bit
You return to your apartment and flick on the light, somewhat embarrassed at the unmade bed and the mess of clothes left on the floor. I'm sorry you couldn't see my robot in action tonight.
You say. Wait, this is you reading, yeah.
Here, check this out. You show Ellie a little 8-legged robot with an old smartphone for a body.
What is it with you and phone robots?
Ellie asks. Well, I hate to throw out my old phone when my plan gives me a free one. You respond. The processor's usually still as powerful as the desktop from a few years ago. So I use my old phones for robots. This one does simultaneous I've got cat's tongue. Localization and mapping, or SLAM for short. You power on your robot and let it go on the floor. It promptly starts ramming the trash can next to your bed.
Slam, you say.
Ellie says, amused. It worked in college.
Isn't it a little dark in here?
Ellie says. She peers up at your fishbowl shaped like fixture. I think one of the
bulbs is out up there.
She stands in the chair, quickly unscrews the light fixture and hands it to you. Indeed, one of the 2 light bulbs underneath is out. Thanks, you say, a little embarrassed. The light fixture is also hella dusty.
You have another?
She asks, unscrewing the dead bulb. No, you say. Then an idea strikes you. I think pickles are luminescent when you electrify them. I saw it on the Discovery Channel once. I have one in my fridge. Ellie gives you a dubious but curious look. Come on, pickle. You're right, it's probably not bright enough for the robot. I'll ask my neighbors for you. What? We could just leave the light. Oh, what? Leave the lights off?
That's up to you.
What?
This is a lot different from mine.
I'm gonna go for come on, pickle.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Oh, Ellie laughs. Okay, sure. You go into the fridge, find a rather large dill pickle of the kind sold at Renaissance fairs, and stick a couple of spare wires you have lying around into the ends as Ellie watches with amusement. You put on some gloves to avoid electrifying yourself and climb onto the chair beneath the light fixture. Note to player: before engaging in any electrified pickle shenanigans yourself, be sure to go buy a copy of Penn and Teller's book, How to Play with Your Food. Please keep a copy of the book open to the page with the electrified pickle trick while attempting this stunt, preferably with a handwritten note that says something like, I'm so glad I learned this trick from this book and not any product of choice of Abe's LLC. Be careful, Ellie says as you wiggle the pickle into the sock. Soon your room is bathed in green light from your pickly sun. You jump down from the chair.
Now it's suddenly romantic.
Achievement
Ooh.
Pickle! Electrified a pickle. How romantic.
That's weird and awesome, Ellie. Ellie says.
That's weird and awesome.
Grinning. Huh?
Like you.
Oh, like you.
She's
Oh,
really hitting
okay.
on you.
Your phone robot is now exploring the four corners of the room, showing curiosity about every stray piece of laundry on the floor. You realize that if you copy the map it makes, you could give Ada a head start on exploring the world tomorrow.
Do you kiss Ellie then call it a night? Kiss Ellie then see if things can go further, or do you hug Ellie? Oh, you're going for it. With mine, we just hugged.
Oh, yeah.
We kissed and hugged. Yeah, and then this is the last.
Oh. Okay.
You realise that the new lighting situation is not exactly conducive to making a move, so you quickly turn it off. In the dark, you kiss Ellie. She enthusiastically returns the kiss. You start to remove her layers. She helps you. Her underthings are red like her coat. What happens next? We will not embarrass you with him. It is too scared. You know
Sacred.
already that you will carry scenes from this night with you for a long time. Oh, it's sacred. You know already that you will carry scenes from this night with you for a long time. As examples of time when you are absolutely without reservation happy. The fact that your happiness doesn't involve robots at all confuses and frightens you a little bit, but you feel your world getting just a little larger. Still, later when Ellie is already asleep, your mind has already returned to Ada. You'll have so much to show Ellie tomorrow, you can hardly wait.
So that's the end.
And I think that's it, yeah.
Oh no.
Oh.
It's chapter 2. Yeah, because it's
Well,
two
okay,
free
well
chapters.
let's end it here. We've done the first chapter.
Yes, we shall return.
Yes, so you enjoyed it. It is a good game, so I'll say for you who weren't really sure about, if you're not really sure about these text-based games, try this one out. It's a lot of fun, it's well written, I love it myself. I really want to get the game now. It's not too expensive either, like
$4.99.
well, that's dollars, so it'll be a little bit. That means it'll be about $3.99 over here, and so yeah, so it's not that expensive to be honest. So it's quite a good little game. So yeah, so thank you for watching this. You're a bit.
Thank you for watching. Please do check out the other videos in the card. We've got loads of other quick looks and also other playlists. Please don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like on our videos or on our channel. Don't forget to check out our Twitter page, our WordPress blog, and our Tumblr blog, which can be found on our About page or in the description below.
And let us know if you want more of this, because it is a good game, definitely.
Indeed that it is. Thank you for watching, and we shall see you in the next quick look.
Alright, bye guys.
And don't
Bye.
forget, keep being awesome.